Hey folks, and welcome to this Twilio tutorial. This is the second of a series that will take you through building your first Twilio-powered messaging applications. Now, by the end of this video, you will have purchased a Twilio number and configured it to send text messages. Twilio makes it easy to interact with traditional telecommunications infrastructure. This is how we're able to write code that can trigger a text message. Now, while Twilio abstracts away all of the complicated jargon of telecoms, it's good to have a basic understanding of how it all works. Across the world, in so many different countries, there are various communications networks. The Twilio SuperNetwork sits under the hood of the Twilio car and acts like the engine. It connects and consolidates all of these networks by layering software into them. And as a result, we don't have to worry about fancy network diagrams and servers, but we can just focus on the code that counts. And the flagship feature of the Twilio SuperNetwork is our catalog of phone numbers. Let's head on over to the Twilio console. Here, we can buy a phone number with just a few clicks. Head over to the phone numbers page on the console and then click on Manage. Here, we can buy a new number. Now, there is a handy little search bar for us to pick the right phone number for whatever we need. For this example, we will need to find a phone number in our location that can handle SMS messaging. Now, different countries around the world have different regulations for the phone numbers in those countries. Now, these may require providing an address or adequate identity documentation. To find out if that's what you need for your country, you can head over to our phone number regulations page. You can search by country and find out what the rules are to buy a phone number where you are. Just like that, we now own a phone number and can begin to determine how we want it to behave. Now, I have one more bit of housekeeping before we start writing code. In today's video, I'll be writing code with JavaScript and running it in Node.js. To follow along, make sure you have the Node.js runtime installed. I've also dropped links to the equivalent code in C#, Python, Ruby, and Java, and even PHP in the description below. So if you prefer to use one of those languages, feel free to follow those instructions. Now, if you're ready, let's get started. Now, since I'll be using Node.js, I'm just going to head over in my terminal to the project folder I'll be working from. We can install the Twilio Node helper library by simply typing npm install Twilio. Now we can create a new JavaScript file and begin to use the Twilio library. First, we will need to authenticate our request using our Twilio credentials. We'll do this using the account SID and auth token from our Twilio account. Now you can find these on the Twilio console. Next, we'll bring in the Twilio library and authenticate a Twilio client using our account SID and our auth token. Now, in the real world, you'll never actually put your credentials in your code. You would use environment variables. But for now, let's just put them in there. Now, before we start sending a message, let's think about all of the pieces of information that form a text message. At a minimum, we will always have a message body, where the message came from, and where the message is going to. Now, in our code, we use the Twilio helper library to create a message that has a to, and that is the phone number that you are going to be sending a message to. This will be your phone number at home. A from, which will be the Twilio number that we bought earlier, where the message will be sent from. And a body, which for now, let's just say hi there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to log the message SID into the console to let us know that the message was sent successfully. All right, now pause this video, run your code, and check your phone. You should receive the message that you've just created. Congratulations, you've just sent your first message using Twilio. And now that we've sent our first message, let's add some color. Let's put an image in it. We can add images to our messages by providing a URL to a publicly hosted image. Now, if you don't have one already, here's a URL you can use from our docs team, which has a picture of the Twilio mascot, an owl. If the number is in the US or Canada, the message will be converted into an MMS message. However, anywhere else in the world, an image will just appear as a short link at the bottom of the message. You can find out more about the difference between SMS versus MMS, but just remember that MMS only works in the USA and Canada. All right, now pause this video, run your code, and check your phone. You should receive the image that you've just added to your message. Awesome. Now we can create and send programmable messages using JavaScript and the Twilio helper libraries. In the next video, we will learn how to receive and respond to messages so we can get a back and forth going with our phone number.